Hey, what's going on? This is Hank Klinger. I'm doing a quick video here about my first experience on the Bering Sea on the Constellation with Skipper Dan Jansen, and what ultimately led me to this profession that I did for almost 8 years. For over 7 years, I was a commercial fisherman in Alaska on long liners, crab boats, salmon trollers, purse seiners out of Bellingham, Washington, Northern Oregon, and Southeast Alaska, and out west in the Bering Sea in Northern Alaska. So, like I said, I ended up on this boat, the Constellation, which ended up being one of the most ruthless boats that the world's ever seen, to tell you the truth. We did more than 767,000 pounds of king crab in 28 days that we caught, 5 of us. So that gives you kind of an idea of how much we were pulling in. There were strings of 35 pot strings that we pulled in, 70,000 pounds of crab in the matter of 3 hours. So it was a brutal job. It was a ruthless job. But what ultimately brought me there was knowing that I wanted a better way of life. And I was in Northern California. I was not happy where I was at, and I knew that I had to get out. And thanks to a book that I read called Working on the Edge. Hold on, I got something in my hat. It's bugging me. But thanks to a book, there we go, that I had that my friend had given me called Working on the Edge by Spike Walker, I realized that I wanted a different profession. You see, I was sick and tired of the grind, first of all, but more importantly, I was sick and tired of the excuses that everybody around me made during work and having to pick up other people's weight. You see, excuses get you absolutely nowhere in life when you realize that you can really start on your path to success. So I read this book, and it talked about the intensity of commercial fishing. It talked about no weak links. It talked about how there was no excuses, and that if you did have an excuse and you didn't pull your weight, you were gone. You were off the boat, because it's life and death out there. Literally, split-second decision can determine a man's life. So there's no room for a weak link. You have to pull your weight. It doesn't matter if you have to stay up for 72 hours and work as hard and fast as you can with broken hand. That's just the way it is. That's commercial fishing. People tell me that's not possible. I tell you it is. Come talk to me. I'll tell you some stories that'll blow your mind about my time out in the Bering Sea. I've seen guys work with broken bones. I've worked with broken bones, and you just make it happen. You know, you pull something out of yourself that you didn't know existed. But anyway, so I left California for Seattle, Washington with a pair of clothes and like 50 bucks, and that was it, and a dream. And everybody told me I couldn't do it. I didn't listen to them because I saw the end result, and the end result was me in shape, me happy, me healthy, and me making a lot of money, you know, which I think all of us ultimately want in life. And I didn't see any of the obstacles in the way. Like, it took me a year to get on this boat, and it was a solid year of hard-ass work. There was a lot of struggle involved, but I kept the end result in focus, and I just kept moving towards it like nothing else in the world existed. And I eventually made it onto the Constellation, which ended up being one of the life-changing experiences for me, one of the biggest life-changing experiences that I ever went through, and it showed me what I was truly capable of and what people are capable of. It turns out I got really seasick, and for 5 days straight I didn't sleep, I didn't eat, and I was violently ill, but I worked as hard as I possibly could. And when it all went down, the seasickness, when I finally released whatever I needed to adapt and get my sea legs, everything got easy from there on out. And I'm not just talking about on the boat, I'm talking about in life in general. I realized that you can literally do anything you want if you stay focused and you don't let anything stop you. You don't let anything come in your way. And for the next 7 years, I fished the Bering Sea. I fished on longliners. I fished on some of the hardest boats that have ever existed on the planet, the Bering Leader. To give you an idea of what kind of work we used to do on these boats, in January and February, we would set 65 miles of line and 72,000 hooks a day that we would set and haul in a 24-hour period. It wasn't untypical for us to pull in 80 to 120,000 pounds of fish. I know that's a big range, but I'd say on average in January we could typically pull in 105 to 110,000 pounds of fish in 24 hours, which I don't know if you've seen that. That's a tremendous amount of fish. It is the meanest boat in the ocean. The Bering Leader right now sets more gear and hauls more gear than any boat that's ever existed, and it produces more than any boat that's ever existed. It took me 5 years to get on that boat, and when I did, it really opened my eyes to what work was. It's the boat that ultimately almost extinguished my life in 2010, which is why I quit commercial fishing, when in 2010 I was blasted by a 40-foot wall of water, which shattered my whole body, knocked me unconscious, and just about threw me overboard before two of my friends caught me and dragged me inside unconscious. It made me realize something about life. Gave me a huge appreciation for life and made me realize how fast death comes. That's one of the biggest lessons that you learn in commercial fishing, is how quick death can come and how fast it's going to all end. So what that did in turn for me is made me realize that I wanted more out of life than to spend it out in the middle of the ocean with a bunch of dudes working my ass off and nearly dying, that no amount of money in the world was worth my life. I turned down $20,000 jobs this last year because of this system that I found online, which has given me more freedom than anything ever has in my life. And not only more freedom than anything has ever in my life, but it's given me more belief in myself and surrounded me with better people than I ever knew existed. If you're looking for a better way, I'm not sure where you're at in life, but I'm telling you that there are people out there that can help you change your entire mindset and help you believe in yourself. And they will believe in you so much until you believe in yourself. And that no matter where you're at, it could all change in an instant, literally overnight. Because less than a year ago, I was suffering from such severe depression that I was ready to end it all. And for 10 years, I was a drug addict. And that all changed. And in the last 6 months, I've found a power inside of me that I didn't know existed, and the power to influence people and inspire others to get out and live the life of their dreams, and realize that everything that I went through in my life gave me strength to put me exactly where I'm at right now on this video, to tell you people that all you need to do if you want to live a better way is to get out and do it, that there's nothing stopping you but you. It all comes from inside. And so many of us try to find peace by changing the external world around us, when all we really have to do is focus on ourselves, and that through our happiness and through our beliefs in ourselves, our dreams will come true, as long as we have those dreams focused and targeted on a specific dream. Your visualizations need to be so clear as day that you can explain them to a 5-year-old and he can see them. He can see the picture of it plain as day. But anyway, that's where I'm at right now in my life. For the last 6 months, I've been working with a system, like I said, that's 100% automated. It generates an outstanding income online, and I travel the world now, which has been my ultimate dream forever, to be able to travel freely, not have to go work out in the Bering Sea for 6 months and then take a few months to go travel. Now I can literally travel as much as I want, whenever I want, wherever I want, with whoever I want, and I just take my laptop with me and work a few hours a day. And it's the greatest life that I've ever experienced and that I could ever imagine experiencing. It's exactly what I want. I've visualized this my whole life, and I finally found it, and I can teach you to find the life of your dreams too, whether that's spending more time with your family, whether that's traveling the world, whether that's doing whatever you want and helping people. I don't care if you want to help people and be a Mother Teresa. I don't care if you want to be a world traveler like me. I don't care if you want to be a race car driver. I don't care if you want to spend all day with your family, whatever it is you want to do. And it doesn't matter if you're broke. It doesn't matter if you're poor or rich or wealthy already. Whatever you have, there can be a better way of life, because money is not ultimately the key to success. Yes, you need money. You need it as a vehicle to find happiness and to buy the things that we need, because that's the way our society works. And through this system, you can find all of these things and find the belief in yourself and the dreams that you need in order to succeed in life. And through our teachings, this can happen overnight. So with that being said, like I said, I don't know where you're at, and I know I started the story about my commercial fishing past, but that's because I wanted to tell you guys what's possible. I came from commercial fishing to being an internet marketer, and look at me now. I don't have to fish ever again. I don't have to risk my life ever again, and I don't have to go cook ever again. I can literally do whatever I want, whenever I want. It's absolutely gorgeous outside here in Gothenburg, Sweden. I'll be traveling through Europe for the next 3 months until our next event in Denver, Colorado, called Don't Be a Wussy 2013. If you're in Empower Network already, then you need to do everything you can to get there. And if you're serious about making money and you're still watching the video, then the next thing that you need to do is take your mouse, click the link below this video, fill out the form, and get started right now. Because if you wait, the opportunity can pass you by, and you don't want to risk it, because you owe more to yourself and you owe more to your family. So take care. I'll see you inside.